So I went to the thrift store. Three pretty cool looking things in my opinion, and they all kind of need a little bit of work. So I thought today that we'd do a little thrift flip action and make these pieces workable for me. Let's just get started with the first thing. So the first item that I picked up was this really cute pink crop top. I love the ruffled sleeves. I love like the ruching detail in the front. The color is amazing and I'm pretty pumped to wear it. It fits pretty much perfectly and I'm honestly obsessed with how like cute it is. It's got these cute little like ruffle sleeves that kind of go off the shoulder. It's got like this little frilly like ruching bit here. I feel like it's just all around. It's a great color. It's a great shirt. I'm obsessed. It was $5. The only thing is it has, as you guys can see, there's a tiny, oh my gosh, look at my double chin. This is not a good angle for me. So we have this situation right here. By the way, I'm pet sitting some guinea pigs down here, if you're wondering what that is. Yeah, there's just this little guy here that I kind of just want to sew up. If it was in the back, I probably wouldn't really care, but because it's in the front, it just kind of bothers me. So I'm just gonna stitch that up. And then we will have a super cute shirt. I hope you guys can excuse the really weird state that my room is in right now. I had to do some temporary rearranging for the guinea pigs over there. So this desk is kind of just floating around and going wherever it can go for the time being. Yeah, I'm literally just gonna take a needle and thread and sew that up. Unfortunately, I do not have thread even moderately close, so I'm gonna have to use this bright pink one. I'm gonna have to try and do my best to hide the stitches inside so that you can't see them. Fingers crossed that it works out. We won't need that much. Where are my scissors at? Yeah, that's probably good. Don't need a ton. It's good because it doesn't look as bright pink when it's just one thread. It blends in, it's still not the same color, but blends in a little bit better than it does like just holding the roll up to the shirt. Okay, we're all threaded. Let's do this. Let's get her done. Shouldn't be too hard. And I mean, like, it's not like a super big deal, like, if that little rip is there. I mean, some people would probably really not like that. I feel like I'm like, whatever. It's a little rip. Who cares? I'm not super particular like that. Also, can I get a show of hands? Who enjoys thrift shopping more than they enjoy shopping at a mall? Because there's so many more things that I can afford to buy when I'm thrift shopping versus when I am not thrift shopping. Did that make sense? There's just so many more like affordable options, you know? I don't have to look at something, fall in love with it, and then realize that I can't afford to buy it because a girl ain't got no money these days, you know? Also, you know, it's good, it's better for the environment, and like there's also just the factor of like, you just never know what you're gonna find versus like, you know, at malls and stuff, it's like, I don't know, I find they all kind of just carry the same stuff. Okay, that doesn't look too bad. That doesn't look too bad. I mean, you can tell that there's something there, but it ain't bad. I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it. Not terrible, but at least there's not like a huge like gap there anymore. You know what? I'm happy with that. The second item that I picked up is really kind of funky and cute. It kind of reminded me of the 60s. It is just this yellow polka dot like skirt. It's like pretty thick material. It's like kind of like one of those form-fitting type of skirts. It's yellow. As you can tell, I'm a fan of wearing yellow, so I was pretty excited to see this. It's like in perfect condition. I feel like it has never been worn. Also, check this out. All the girls in the back, this one's for you. Pockets. A skirt with pockets. Have you ever? So here's the thing, this skirt doesn't fit. And normally I wouldn't buy a skirt that doesn't fit, but because thrift stores, you're not allowed to try on clothes in the store anymore, you kind of just have to buy things and take a chance on them. And I really, really liked this skirt. I thought it was so cute, so I had to just give it a try because, I don't know, you just never know. But yeah, the buttons aren't quite there. But here's the thing. Here's what I'm thinking. Also, I normally wouldn't try on a skirt on top of leggings, but like I didn't want my gut to like be all over the internet. So here's the plan here. I don't know if it's going to work, but it's worth a try, really. There's a lot of like overlapping fabric on the inside of this. So I'm kind of hoping I could just move these buttons over a bit and make it fit, you know? I mean, there's some stitching down here that I kind of have to like unstitch because the double layer is like just stitched in the bottom there. So I think I'd have to like unstitch that. I think if I move the buttons, I think I can make it fit. And if I can do that, I will be so happy because I just think this skirt is so freaking cute and I just want it to fit so badly. My fitness stuff hasn't led me to lose enough weight that I would fit into this. I don't even know what size it is. Yeah, I really want it to fit, so I'm gonna try my best to make it fit. And like I said, this isn't something I would normally do. Like if I had known it didn't fit before I bought it, I wouldn't have bought it. I wouldn't put myself through the stress of trying to fit into something that's too small. That's just not really a good thing to do for yourself, but it's here now. It's in my possession anyway. So I might as well try to make it work before I give it away or save it for the day that I lose weight or whatever, you know? So here's hoping I can make this work. And it's like moving these buttons is a pretty minor adjustment because it's just like a couple of threads. It's not like I have to seam rip anything or like even use a sewing machine. It's just resewing a couple of buttons. So fingers crossed, because I love this skirt. Okay, so I think my first step here is to undo the stitching that is keeping the bottom part together because obviously I can't move the buttons if this is attached right here. I think in the other part I said no seam ripping, but I didn't realize that it's actually sewn together right there. So I guess a little bit of seam ripping, but nothing major. I'm going to open up the skirt so that it basically like, it won't completely open all the way. Like it's not just like a wrap skirt. It has some attaching bits. So I'm gonna cut open the attaching bits. I hope I don't cut anything else by mistake. Okay, pretty easy peasy lemon squeezy, except for the end, which isn't as easy. It always feels so wrong to like dismantle something that you really like. I mean, like even though I literally can't wear this right now the way that it is, it just feels wrong to cut it apart. So, I mean, like I can literally just sew this back up the way that it was, but still, I just hope that my plan works. There's nothing worse than having a plan and the plan failing. Or accidentally cutting the skirt in a spot you're not supposed to. I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I'm not really like a super like fashionable person. So like I don't do a lot of like clothing videos, but I feel like lately I've just been wanting to like do more clothing videos because I just wanna like DIY my way to a trendy spring/summer wardrobe. So let me know if you like these kinds of videos. Do you like sewing videos, like clothing remodeling videos? Just let me know. Almost there. Just a little bit more. There we go. And we are open for business. What kind of business, you ask? Couldn't tell ya. Now that my skirt is completely open, I'm going to cut off the buttons. Now I'm gonna make sure I cut off the right buttons. So yeah, I can't move the buttonholes, so it's definitely these buttons that I wanna cut off. This button on the inside that goes all the way over to this side, I will have to like rig something up to make that stay because that won't reach that point anymore. But that seems like a later problem, so I'm gonna cut off these buttons first, and then that's probably gonna be the last thing that I try and figure out. Buttons, it's been fun, but it's time. It's time for you to go. And that felt like the most wrong thing of all. Can you guys even see what I'm doing? Oh, the buttons have like a piece of fabric up behind them. That's interesting. So now is the fun part where I have to decide where I want my new buttons. Now the only downside to the pocket in this case is the fact that they were like perfectly centered, and now one of them is, well, they're not really gonna be centered anymore. Either that or the buttons aren't gonna be centered, so probably the pocket. It is what it is, and I really don't care that much. I'm sorry if anyone out there is like cringing, like what are you doing? But it is what it is. So I kind of like it like right here. I feel like that would be a pretty good fit. There's still a bit of overlap, which is good. And yeah, I mean, beggars can't be choosers. So I'm just gonna kind of mark it off, I think. Yeah, one pocket's gonna be right in the front and the other one's gonna be like back here, but whatevs. I think I'm just gonna like put like a little mark on it right in the middle with a pencil. Oh, that scared me. Okay, so as far as thread goes, I don't have the right yellow for this project. I have like this really, really bright yellow, and then I have like this orange, but as you can see, the threading is kind of like directly in between. I might go with the orange. I mean, it's only underneath the button, so no one's really gonna see it anyway. I just feel like this one is just a little too bright, and the orange is just a little bit more like the same color, so I think I'm gonna go for the orange. These are sewn so interestingly. It's like the thread has been like built up like multiple times, which I mean, it very well Could be. Okay, I guess the best thing to do is just go ahead, start sewing. I feel like I've never sewn a button quite like this before, so this should be a learning experience. I've only ever sewn like the ones that have like they're flat and they just have like the 4 holes. So this should be an experience. The fun thing about sewing is that you pretty much learn something new every time you sew something that you've never sewn before. I'm sweating already and I'm scared. Of what? I don't really know. If I mess up, I can just cut it off. You know, there's just a part of you that just wants to get things right at the beginning. Here I go. Oh, of course, stabbed myself as I often do. Now the other buttons weren't super tight, but they weren't too loose. So I don't want to make them too tight. Basically, I'm just gonna go in and do this a bunch of times and sew all the buttons on like this. So I don't know how interesting that's gonna be, so I'm just gonna go ahead, finish up sewing these buttons on, and then we'll get to that one weird button that I'm still not really sure what I'm going to do with. Catch you guys in like 20 minutes. I have now sewn all 3 buttons on. It fits me perfectly and I could not be happier about it. The only thing is, yes, the pockets are not symmetrical anymore, but is anybody really gonna be looking at it that much? I don't know. I mean, like, at least now this isn't gonna be a super big waste of money that's just gonna sit in the back of my closet until I eventually just get rid of it because it doesn't fit. And yeah, I think this is gonna be like a summer staple for me. I can see myself wearing this like almost every day, honestly. This might be the summer of skirts because none of my shorts fit. So the only problem I have now is that I have this hole here that the inside of this used to come all the way over here for the button to go into the hole, but unfortunately it doesn't do that anymore. So what I'm gonna do is just kind of like sew up the buttonhole just so that you can't see like my skin through it, and then just temporarily just like sew the button on so that it looks like it's through the buttonhole. It's not gonna be functional anymore because the fabric won't reach there anyway, so it doesn't really matter. And if at some point I do need to make the skirt smaller and the button fits there, I can just undo the buttonhole, you know? I can't remember if I mentioned this or anything, but everything that I bought, like all 3 things, only came to like $5 at Frenchie's. Honestly, if I have to put a little bit of work into it, it's worth it to me. I mean, I feel like some people would think like the absolute opposite. They'd be like, that was only $5. Why are you doing this instead of just like buying a new skirt? Well, you know what? I don't know where to find this skirt. There's only one size at a thrift store. You can't just like return it and get a different size. That's not the way thrifting works. And plus, I kind of just like, I just like having a handmade element to my clothes, to be quite honest with you. I don't know, I like to know that I had a part in it. So I'm trying my best to like sew this on the inside so that I don't get a big orange jagged line on the outside. And the first stitch you can see very clearly, but the other ones you can't really see, so things are going pretty well. You can 100% see them on the inside, but... So this is what the inside looks like. You can see like the orange stitching. You can't really see it on the outside, which is good. I don't know what this big string is doing here. The final element, I'm just gonna sew the button on. And just like that, I'm done. And I'm pretty happy. And then last but not least, this one's kind of a fun one because I knew it wasn't going to fit when I purchased it. It is way too small. This, like, my leg could probably not fit into the waist of this. But the thing is, I fell in love with the pattern on it. I don't even know if this is a dress or a shirt. Don't really know what it is, but I just bought it because I loved the pattern on the fabric. It's so cute. It's peachy with little red flowers. And I thought I could probably deconstruct this and turn it into a really cute crop top. Because I think there's enough material like at the bottom that I could turn this into a really cute crop top. So that's my plan for this. This one is gonna take a lot more time than the rest of the projects in today's video, but I'm really, really excited to see what comes out of this. Let's talk about this for a second. Now, I know earlier in the video I said I wouldn't normally buy something that was too small for me and try to make it fit, but that's exactly what I'm doing right now. Yeah, like I said, there's absolutely no way this would ever fit me. Like, it's so tiny. But yeah, I just really, really love the fabric. So can you blame me? I think this would be a cute shirt. That's my plan. and I'm sticking to it. So there's definitely a reason I saved this one for last, because this one is gonna be the hardest. It's gonna involve some seam ripping as well as my trusty dusty sewing machine over here. I feel like I've reworked the planning of this in my brain several times to try and utilize like the amount of fabric that is here as best as I possibly can. Originally, I was just thinking of just like not using these triangle bits because if I'm being honest, they're a little small, okay? Yeah, like I said, this dress is not the right size. But I'm thinking what I kind of want to try to do is cut these off and then maybe try to just use this as half of the triangle. So like it would be like this, and then like cut out another triangle that will go under my arm. Does that make sense? Does that look like it would work? I don't know. I'm gonna try it because why not? That's the way my brain is seeing this. That's the way I feel like I'm going to make the most out of this. I just want to use the straps that are already here instead of making new ones. I thought about making sleeves, but I honestly just feel like there probably won't be enough fabric for that. Sleeves are just so much harder than straps, so I just wanted to take the easy way out when it comes to the sleevage portion of this. Also, there is a zipper in this side, but I think what I want to do is do buttons in the front. So I think I will cut this zipper off, save it for a later project. So I have a lot of seam ripping to do, so I may as well get started. I'm gonna start by seam ripping the top triangles off. I'm not gonna like just straight up cut them off because there is a little bit of fabric inside here, and like I said, I want to utilize the amount of fabric that I have here, and I don't want to waste like any of it because there's not a ton to work with. So, you know, we have to work with what we have and not be wasteful. So I'm gonna go ahead, seam rip this bad boy. It may take a while, so let's do a little time lapse and then we will regroup. Cut out my triangles as well as I ripped off the zipper and cut down the side seam so that now I just have a flat piece of fabric to work with. This fabric does have a little bit of stretch, which is nice. I'm gonna try and keep the bottom for the waistband as well as maybe even like this top part. I don't know, we'll see about that. Anyway, so I'm gonna use the back portion of the dress, and there is a lining, so I'm trying to keep it like as in place as possible. I'm gonna use my trusty dusty piece of wood so I don't cut my floor to bits. And obviously this has like a little ruffle here, so it's not gonna be quite the same. And I'm gonna cut obviously 2 of these little triangle guys, leaving a little bit of room for the seam allowance as well. I'm not doing this like super like, you know, measurement-y or anything like that, so hopefully things work out. But I mean, I couldn't wear this anyway, so it's not really a huge loss if it doesn't. Sorry if anybody out there is like cringing really hard at what I'm doing. In my brain, it's gonna work out, okay? I'm gonna worry about the bottom part later. So I went ahead and I opened up one side of the original triangle so that I can sew the other triangle to the other side. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do that now. This is what I have so far, and like I feel like I was originally gonna make buttons going like right up the middle, but I feel like it would be really cute if this like overlapped right here. But now is like the part where I get like really confused as to how everything is going to attach to like the waistband and stuff. But I think it's looking really cute so far, honestly. Yeah, it's just that little troubleshooting bit of how the heck is this gonna attach to the rest of it. I mean, I do have like some like stuff going underneath here, which is good. But then like if I do this crossover, how am I gonna do like the buttons? How is this gonna attach onto me? That's another thing. I could put the zipper back on. That is an option. Buttons are just so much easier though, you know? I don't know. I think it's definitely looking really cute so far. So I'm just gonna take a few minutes, figure out what the heck it is I'm doing. Oh, and Yeah, maybe I should put like a little stitch here and a little stitch there so I know what's going on. Maybe I should just cut out the waistband, start pinning some things and see what happens maybe. Okay, so quick update. I'm just really hoping that I don't have a super double chin in this angle because I can't tell. I cut out a strip of fabric from the very bottom of the dress so that I wouldn't have to do another seam on the bottom because the seam was like already there, you know what I mean? So there's already a seam at the bottom so I don't have to deal with that. Like, can we just like look at this for a minute? Obviously, like I wouldn't, I mean like, I'm like starting to say things in my head and then not saying them to you. My only thing here is that now I need to like figure out what's happening with these big flaps so I can get like a thing for the back. I think I really don't want to put the zipper in, so I think maybe I'll just put buttons in the back. But yeah, this is how she's looking. It's looking cute as heck. This is a very on the fly, like kind of DIY. It's like I don't really have a plan. I'm just kind of making it up as I go and seeing what works. Yeah, I didn't put the lining on the bottom part just because I didn't really feel like it was necessary. Obviously it's necessary for the top part because like I don't want it to be see-through, but like just like the bottom part where it's just like my stomach, I didn't really think it was necessary to have the lining. It's just so much easier to like not put the lining in it. Yeah, so now I'm just like, okay, do I sew this on? So I've been making a few adjustments to the top here and there, and now I'm just about to cut out the waistband for the back. This whole project I've just kind of been like winging basically because I don't know. It's just kind of a go with the flow kind of thing and hope that it works. And it's probably gonna have a lot of like weird spots that are like uneven and like kind of janky and funny, but I think I'm still gonna really like how this turns out, if I'm being perfectly honest. Imperfection, it is what it is basically. Just going with the flow here. All right, so I must be honest with you guys. I've been working on this video for like over a week now, and I actually can't remember the last clips that I filmed at this point. Sewing videos just kind of take a long time for me, and I don't really know why. They just do. But here's where we're at. I do remember in the last clips, I was kind of like, I had been working on it for like 4 hours straight, and I was like, yeah, I was basically just like done for the day, and I feel like I just went ahead and did some things without telling you what I was doing. We have the 2 triangles with the front panel, and then I also went ahead and sewed on 2 side panels. So what I'm gonna do now is just fold over the seam here on the top. We are like so close to being done and I just can't wait at this point. Yeah, I'm just gonna fold over the seam at the top kind of like this and sew it down. And then what I'm gonna do is, well, basically decide how long I need these side panels to be and then fold over a seam and then sew the buttons on. Then last but not least, sew these straps back on, and then we are home free and ready to roll, hopefully. Let's get her done. Let's get this video up. It's been far too long since I uploaded a video. I do apologize, but these things just take time, you know? Okay, so I apologize for like not filming pretty much everything that I just did, but man, doing this really took my brain for a ride, and I was like, what am I doing? And even though this whole thing was pretty much just winging it, the last little bit, I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just gonna try some things. I'm just gonna see if it works. Yeah, so this is what we're left with. I ended up going for a looser fit because this material is so like thin and flowy. I thought it would work. And also it was just so much easier to just do a closed back rather than sewing the buttons on, because sewing a buttonhole on fabric that is this thin, I just really didn't see that going very well for me. So I just decided not to. So I just put a little pleat in the top of the back so that it opens up a little bit more at the bottom than it does at the top. And because I've done it this way, I kind of wish I made the front panel a little bit longer, because when I put it on, my original plan was for this to go like, for this bottom part to like go straight across like that. But when I put it on, it kind of goes up in the middle instead because of how these straps separate. So I kind of wish I had made it a little bit longer in the front because it does kind of pull up. I'm still pretty pleased with it. I still love the pattern, and I think it's gonna be cute for summer with a pair of like high-waisted shorts or something. Thanks so much for watching and struggling along with me, and I'll see you guys soon with a brand new video. Bye.